we good?
Yeah.
Yeah, all good.
We're good. Your sweater matches my painting, kind of the color scheme. Yeah, it's very nice.
I dress for the occasion.
Yeah.
You know? So as a young person, I'm definitely somebody who is extremely interested in politics. And like I've thought about it before. In my first year of university, I actually went to the University of Ottawa and studied political science.
Oh, right on.
And I thought for a long time that that's something I wanted to do. But I think it was hard for me to be able to like envision myself as somebody who could be in politics, which is why I think I was so intrigued by you. Because to me, you don't seem like a stereotypical politician. You know, you're young, you're a woman, you know, you're funny and smart and like witty and like you're always around, you're involved in the community. You know, I see you at the Only. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that that's something that's so different and interesting. So I guess what I want to know is, did you have somebody who kind of inspired you or pushed you, or, you know, what made you have the confidence to like go into that field?
Yeah, it's interesting. It was never something that I, you know, like 10 years ago thought I would do. But I'm also the kind of person who, you know, believes that everything is political. So there's so much work that happens that isn't necessarily, you know, in City Hall or in Parliament or Queen's Park that is still politics. I was always involved in those kinds of causes and trying to make the community a better place, which like I said, I believe is that is political. But I got involved in council when in 2014 when I ran, because I thought that the table wasn't necessarily representative of the community. There are a lot of young people in the community. There was only one woman on council at the time. We know that, you know, women make up 52% of the population. So it was one of those things where I kind of was just like, yeah, I could do that. And so I did. You know, I talked about it with a couple people and they were encouraging. A couple people were like, well, no, maybe you should wait. And I just thought, well, wait for what? You know, 4 years is a long time to wait.
Diane Therrien, the mayor of Peterborough and an inspiration to many women in this community. When she won with 68% of the vote, she took the title of youngest female mayor in Peterborough's history. Diane Therrien has a long history of activism, working locally for the Peterborough Poverty Reduction Network, the YWCA, and Trent University. Her dedication to this community and commitment to supporting the most marginalized in this area make her deserving of recognition for International Women's Day.
Diane was so kind to make time for us today, which was amazing.
Yeah, of course.
So thanks so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
That's something that we really like appreciate and admire about you as a mayor, is that you take the time to really, you know, interact with the community.
Yeah.
And, like, we've seen you at so many events.
Yeah, well, to me, that's such an essential part of the job. You need to be accessible and available and part of the community.
It must get a little tiring.
Yeah, it does. But again, like in a good way. But then it's, you know, I'll have like tonight I kind of have an evening off where there's not really anything that I'm aware of going on. So I'm like, oh, cool. We can like make dinner and just kind of chill. Yeah. So.
No, that's awesome. So first of all, I want to talk to you a little bit about kind of your past. So I know that you're not from Peterborough.
That's correct.
So I'd love to hear about what brought you to the city. My sister and I also aren't from Peterborough and we ended up staying here.
Well, and I met so many people at the door that had that same story, that they came here for work or school or whatever and just fell in love with the city. And that's what happened to me. So I came to Peterborough to do my master's degree at Trent in 2010. And it was sort of like, I wanted to do my master's degree in Indigenous Studies, and Trent's the only place in Ontario that has that. And I wasn't prepared to move to the prairies. So, you know, and I have my mom has a lot of family around this area. Like my grandmother lives down on Rice Lake, and family in Bobcaygeon and Warkworth. So I've been to Peterborough as a kid and that kind of thing, but not so much as an adult. But the day that I moved here, it just like pulling into the city, it was just like this, it just felt like home. And I got really involved I was lucky because I came and went to Trent. So I instantly had sort of a community of other grad students and people that were interested in similar stuff. And so that was great. And I just sort of decided that I wanted to try to build my life here, and it's managed to work out. So
what advice would you give to kind of your younger self?
That's funny. I also had a request for an interview from a high school kid who the question was, if you knew you were going to die at 40, what would you do different? And I was like, oh God. So this is sort of the opposite of that. I mean, I think for my younger self, the advice would be like, don't date that guy.
I feel like that's a universal, like,
It's a universal, yeah. What was I thinking? But I think it would be just stuff that I already did was like basically just like listen to people that are like, listen to your critics, but know that you can challenge them, especially the ones that don't actually know you, and just believe in yourself, get involved, which is what I did, but like learn just as much as you can about what you're interested in and just get out there. Because you're never too young to make a difference or to get involved.
Right.
Yeah.
And can you tell me a little bit about maybe some mentors that you've had in the past, or somebody who's really inspired you? Because I think everyone kind of has those people.
Yeah.
One of mine is like Sophie Andreo. I don't know if you know her.
Oh yeah, I know her. Yeah.
She is a huge part of how I've found myself in the career that I have now, and having her mentorship has been so special and so transformative to me. And I think everyone kind of has those people.
Yeah, that's a good question. There's been lots. I had, when I was at Trent, Julia Harrison was the director of the Frost Center when I did my master's degree, and she was so helpful and supportive, and my supervisor, Lynn Davis, was great. And they were always there to be able to chat with. I have a good group of friends too, which is really important. And then in the political sort of world, when I was running for council originally, people said, "Oh, you should talk with Anne Farquharson. She's a lawyer. She was on council before, so she had some really good advice about that." So there's, Peterborough is fortunate to have so many strong women in different leadership roles. Which is great. There's so many, and they're great too because they reach out to you. Like when they knew I was running, I had so many people reach out. Linda Slavin and Joe Hayward Haynes and all the like the Raging Grannies and all those grandmas that have been doing all that hard work for years and years and years. They're really inspirational too because it's like I want to still be fighting when I'm 75, like they've got so much energy and it's great.
What would you say is your definition of success?
I think, success is just having for the next 4 years that like respectful and open communication between staff and between council and the community. So I want to do, a series of neighborhood drop-ins and, barbecues. We've done those before in town ward. And so encouraging also the other different wards to have those types of neighborhood gatherings, because I think it is really important for the community to know that yes, council represents you and is there to be part of the community, and so that sort of accountability and accessibility is really important.
And what about to you personally? Like, what does success look like in your own life?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think just like staying true to myself and being able to justify decisions that I make. There's going to be a lot of difficult stuff that we have to deal with over the next 4 years. But making sure that all the decisions that are being made are in the best interest of the community long term, and that they're, that I don't ever compromise my values around, my belief in helping marginalized people and making sure that we're doing what we can to protect the environment and to build a sense of community and make sure that newcomers here are welcome and feel included, that kind of stuff. So it's like this broad.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but just like staying true to myself, I think is, the cheesy answer.
You can't have an interview without a cheesy
It's
answer,
true.
so
It's true.
good.
Yeah.
It's good. I just wanted to say thank you again so much for taking the time out of your day. I know it's like quite busy. I just really appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks again.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.